Hello and welcome to the 15th special episode of the Selah Time to Pause podcast from Plexus Salvation Army, an online church in the UK. As we journey through Advent this year, we are joined by chaplains from our Homelessness Services Unit, who work in our lifehouses and hostels around the country. They will help us to explore the four great themes of hope, peace, love and joy. If you're listening to this on a podcasting app and haven't already, I would invite you to check out our special Advent videos on our Instagram page, plexus.salvationarmy, or YouTube channel, Selah Time to Pause, and make sure to follow and subscribe so you never miss a post. Next week we'll be joined by Pamela Smith from Devonport Lifehouse in Plymouth, who will be bringing our fourth theme of joy. But for now, we look forward to hearing again from Karen Cardy from Springfield Lodge Lifehouse in London, who is talking to us for the final time on love.
I will stop and breathe in your presence. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Hello, I'm Karen and I'm a Salvation Army chaplain working with homeless young people in a lifehouse and supported accommodation. This week's podcasts are part of our Advent series and are on the theme of love. What does love look like? You may have heard of or read about love languages. This is the idea that we all have our preferred ways of showing and receiving love, and what works well for one person might not mean so much to another. There are several of these love languages, and how many might depend on which of the books you've read. I'm thinking about just 5 today. Firstly, words of affirmation. This is showing love by what we say. So it might be saying, I love you, or it might be just speaking to them with encouragement and kindness and loving words. Secondly, acts of service. This is doing loving things for someone, things that help them, or maybe nurture them, and things that meet their needs. Thirdly, the giving of gifts. This one's fairly obvious, but it can mean both presents, but also providing things which are needed. Fourthly, there's quality time. Spending time together, just enjoying each other's company, or maybe sharing an activity together. And the fifth one is physical touch, giving hugs, holding hands, or, if the relationship is appropriate, a little bit more. It occurs to me, thinking about the incarnation of Jesus, that when he came to humanity in love, he was using all of these languages during his life and ministry. Words of affirmation. He used an awful lot of these. The Gospels record a lot of his teaching, especially in explaining God's kingdom, also his frequent pronouncements of forgiveness to people, and his loving words of kindness, especially, we notice, to those people who the world despised. Secondly, acts of service. Again, recorded are his many, many acts of healing, bringing real life back to people. His miracles, such as feeding the 5,000. And also, we often think of him washing his disciples' feet as being a very good example of being a servant. Thirdly, giving gifts. Well, apart from giving food in miracles and other practical provision, his mission was to give us all salvation and an opportunity of real life. Quality time. Jesus spent a lot of time with his disciples. He spent 33 years living as one of us. But ultimately, he offers all people life with him in eternity. That's an awful lot of quality time. And finally, physical touch. Jesus came and took on the mantle of humanity. He came and lived in one of our physical bodies. And in this body, his touch was used to heal and to comfort in a way that perhaps he couldn't do before. So, as we prepare to celebrate Jesus' life by celebrating his birth, how do we use these love languages ourselves? I'm not thinking in terms of our close relationships with our nearest and dearest, more about the way we generally treat people around us. Do we use words of affirmation? When we speak with others, does our speech build them up? Does it encourage them? Are we kind in our tone and in what we say? Words are said to have great power. They can cause deep pain and great harm when used wrongly. But in used in the right way, they can also bring comfort and healing. Let ours be the latter. Let us do good with our words. Secondly, do we do acts of service? Are we one of those people who's always ready to help, happy to do others a favour without necessarily expecting anything in return? Do we look to meet another person's need when it's in our power to do so? Do we give gifts? Are we generous in providing things which are needed? Do we bless people with treats or presents for no particular reason other than just to show care and friendship? Are we someone who's likely to make donations to charity? Do we give people our time? And is it quality time? Do we make space in our schedule to just sit and listen to someone, or to play, or to go with them somewhere that they need or want to go? And finally, physical touch. You have to be a bit careful and sensible with this one, not just because of the possibility of a touch being misunderstood, but also because some people do not want to be touched. But if you know that it will definitely be welcomed, then a hug or holding a hand or a pat on the shoulder can mean an awful lot, especially for someone who's upset and just needs to feel that someone else is alongside them in their pain. These are not the only ways to show love, but it does perhaps help us to think of how the other person will best receive it. God had been showing and revealing his love and care to humanity for centuries, but in Jesus' coming, he was doing something new. The incarnation was God coming alongside and actually becoming one of us. Now we are his hands, his feet, his mouth, a listening ear, and his touch of comfort to many of those around us. How much does the incarnate Christ live through you or through me? My challenge today for all of us is that we live the reality of Christmas to bring him afresh into the world.
For God so loved the world, come on, that he gave his only Son, and whosoever believes will not perish, they shall have eternal life. We believe it, God. I shall hold to the cross. I shall hold to God alone, for his love has salvaged me, for his love has set me free. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, and whosoever believes will not perish, they shall have eternal life. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I shall wait upon the Lord, and I shall wait upon his word, and by his grace I am released, and by his grace I am redeemed. Oh, for God so loved Whosoever believes will not perish, they shall have eternal life. Yes, they shall have eternal life.